today there was a wonderful event that happened in Halifax, Nova Scotia, my hometown, where there was a large gathering of Antifa members who had their panties in a twist because a group called the NCA, who they called a white nationalist group, was coming to Nova Scotia. Now, who are the NCA? Because this is a pretty common occurrence as far as Antifa showing up and anywhere, really. They consistently label people white nationalists, like terrorists, whatever they want to do. And then they basically go and they try to drag people's names through the mud, when very often, like you look in cases like the Proud Boys, different things like that, there were multicultural groups of people. And they're calling them white nationalists because they disagree with their political belief. Now, say somebody was an actual racist. How much easier has their life been made because people like Antifa decide to go, point fingers, say, look, this person's a racist because they had a different political opinion than me and it hurt my feelings. Therefore, you are a white supremacist. These antics have gone on and on and on and on and on. Okay? They don't help anybody out. They're not about equality. They're about trashing the right, no matter how good the idea is. I decided to look into the National Citizens Alliance group and see exactly who are these people. And the story that I picked up and found when I actually talked to these people and interviewed them, which most of the mainstream media outlets, you never see an interview with any of these people who they drag their name through the mud at all. They just drag their name through the mud, no questions asked. I went and I contacted Stephen Garvey, who is the head of the National Citizens Alliance, and got him to come and do an interview, which is I met him. He was a really great guy. And I personally, from my impression of him and from everything that I read about him, I could not see anything about him that was overtly racist or something that you would call a white nationalist. I mean, that's just outright insanity. And, I believe in free expression. And what I saw when I went to the counter demonstration that Antifa had set up for the National Citizens Alliance was a group of people that were extremely uninformed on the topic that actually was in front of them. They had no idea about any of the policies of the NCA. They had no idea about, really anything. And they were really just there to shut that person's free speech down because they were not really practicing what I would like to call critical thinking skills. I would like to call basic critical thinking skills. It just wasn't there. I mean, some of these people looked twacked. I'm talking eyes bugged out, just gone, man. So, anyway, and all over something that they had no idea about. And I know you're saying, oh, well, okay, they're bad. Well, what about NCA? I mean, you're just saying this. Well, I'm going to link NCA in this video. I'm going to link their website. I'm going to link their policies. I'm going to show you all this interview from Stephen Garvey, head of the National Citizens Alliance, and what he has to say about it. And you can read their policy. And it's all laid out there for you, and you can look into it and basically see what they have to say. I also have another interview that I did with an Antifa member, just to put it in perspective. And I will be showing some other clips in a separate video of the whole incident, because it sure was one hell of a circus. So without further ado, here is Stephen Garvey, the head of the National Citizens Alliance. So, okay.
Start now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll start now. It takes about 3 seconds for it to go live. I'll tell you when.
Hey there, so this is...
Okay, just give me a sec here. And we're live.
Awesome. Hey there, so I'm here with the Canadian Patriot Report. We're here talking to Stephen Garvey. So Stephen Garvey is the leader of the National Citizens Alliance, and we're doing this interview so he can give people a better idea of what the National Citizens Alliance is all about. So, Stephen, so what is the National Citizens Alliance?
It's an alliance of concerned Canadian citizens across the country. Literally, we have members, supporters in every province and up in the territories, and it's about saving our country through major redirection of our country. We believe the country has been taken over by globalists, globalist UN, globalist stringed people, parties, mainstream parties, and we don't agree with their agenda. So this is about a clear choice in this election and elections following that. But we encourage people to go look at our platform, our policies at nationalcitizensalliance.ca to learn more about our agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like a lot of the people down there that I interviewed had absolutely no idea about what you were writing, no idea about anything. You know, and they're smearing you, calling you white nationalists, neo-Nazis, white supremacists.
Yeah.
Do you guys identify it? Obviously, you're not neo-Nazis, but are you white nationalists?
Not at all.
No.
And there's something came up with that. Where was it? Someone was, it was actually your article, and we encourage people to look at the Canadian Patriots article. You completely debunked the argument that NCA is white nationalists.
Yeah.
So look at his article. It's up on the National Citizens Alliance Facebook page. But yeah, we do not subscribe to that ideology. It's a very hateful, narrow ideology. We're about Canadian nationalism, Canadian populism. We're all about, as any member supporter of NCA knows, we're all about the people and doing what is best for our people, serving our people, listening to our people. That's what NCA is about.
Awesome.
You know, we don't need to call ourselves a people's party because it's actions that matter. It's a substance, and you can see that in our platform.
There we go.
Right?
I like that. That sounds like a really good message, man. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of the negative press, they keep calling you guys Islamophobic and stuff like that, and point to your policy as, you know, creation of a white ethno state or anything like that. So, you guys definitely don't subscribe to that. And do you have very many non-white supporters and different people like that, people that support your movement? Would you be opposed to a multicultural candidate?
Not at all. Multiculturalism has been part of Canada for decades and decades, but what we're opposed to is the extremes of multiculturalism.
Okay.
Right? And the expansion and growth of ethnic enclaves which are dividing our country, the non-integration into our country. We believe fundamentally as a party that we should be protecting and enhancing our traditional identity, heritage, cultural norms, our traditional Canadian values, our way of life.
Absolutely. So you wouldn't have a problem with, say, like a Muslim coming here from Syria or anything like that, as long as they, you know, essentially, you know, didn't have extremist beliefs and, you know, embraced our culture.
Of course, and we actually, there was a lady who recently, she's a political asylum seeker from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And she actually joined NCA.
That's
The
awesome.
reason she joined NCA, because of our strong stance against radical extremism.
That's a really good stance to
And
take.
she lived it. And that's why she's supporting us and donating to our party.
Okay.
Praise on her for having the, you know, but she lived it, so she knows. And she praises us for taking a strong stance, as we should, against radical extremism.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fair...
Just so you know that, we're open to all Canadians, but we don't want people in the party who don't respect our fundamental beliefs, the direction of the party, who are here all about themselves,
I got you.
not integrating, sending all their money back to their home country.
Yeah, so
We don't want those type of people in our party.
You want to put Canadian interests first.
This is all about the Canadian people, our
Absolutely.
country, And that's what NCA is, and people are seeing that through our action. We don't do sound bites. We don't do these mindless tweets and manipulate people. We have very substantive policy. We encourage people to go look at them, compare them to the mainstream parties. Make up your own mind.
So are you totally opposed to foreign aid when you say like no helping other nations, or are you?
We're not totally opposed to foreign aid. We think it needs to be reined back.
Okay.
It's out of control. From 2005 to 2015, as one example, 56.6 billion flowed out of the country just in foreign aid. This isn't including all the billions to the UN and its other associated entities. 56.6 billion gone.
Okay.
While there's over 250,000 Canadians struggling financially. There's 3,000 to 5,000 veterans on the street. There's endless unemployed. We believe it's up to 14% in our estimation. We want to rein back foreign aid by 75%. And whatever money we do give is going directly to people in need.
Okay.
Because I'm going to preface this. Do your research. In Afghanistan is one example. 2.37 billion flowed out of Canada between 2005 and 2015. And there was a US report last year. Most of that money was wasted, gone into corruption. Your money gone into corruption. What about all the other billions? Where is it? This is all wrong. This is all wrong. We have so many Canadians here in need. They're desperate. They're on the verge of living on the street.
Absolutely. It's a system.
It's fiscal insanity what's going on.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely think that there's out of control governments. But these do not seem at all like extreme beliefs like the Antifa members were peddling down there, like saying most of them that I talked to had no idea what your policies were. And they were going all off of a few news articles.
Yeah.
So I'd like to, take a minute for you to basically just give you the opportunity to dispel, any, like, have you been covered in any news articles, like some fake press or anything like that? Have they said any things about you that have been outright lies in the media?
Yes, they have. And we've been able to correct some of them, like CBC for the longest time was saying I was a member of the World Coalition Against Islam.
Oh, so you never were?
I never was. And they actually retracted that. I think it was about a month ago. And just recently, as our supporters know, they were saying NCA is anti-immigrant party. And we're not. So they retracted that.
Wow.
Now they call us the controversial party. Can you believe it? So it is what it is, but we're trying to hold them accountable. We encourage other people to do the same. But we should expect it to increase as we grow and gain support. There's going to be more resistance. But we're very determined. We have vision, leadership.
Absolutely.
And we're not going anywhere. And it's all founded in our platform, our policies, the people that support us.
Absolutely.
We're not going anywhere. We're taking our country back. We're redirecting it. We're getting it off this insane globalist direction, which is leading irrefutably to like a UN globalist village.
Absolutely. So what's the exact definition of a UN globalist village?
Well, it would be a mix of people from all over the world. There's no distinct identity, culture.
Okay.
There's no distinct values, cultural norms. You got a ruling autocracy.
Absolutely.
Controlling ruling bureaucrats, and then everyone is divided in this village and controlled.
From what I'm hearing, because people always say, "Oh, well, you're against all these other." To me, it sounds like you're more against the idea of people coming in, and not necessarily just people because of the color of their skin, but because of their political alliance that are let in because they, just have an open border policy and they're not screening people and saying, oh, well, here's a person, coming from Saudi Arabia or one of these countries, they're Islamic or whatever their religion is, right? Or whatever their race is. Okay, this person is a good person, they're a good fit for Canada. Let's let them in. You're saying that basically it would be more like a situation where people like this come in, and when I say people like this, I mean people that come in that are tied to foreign governments or different things like that, and you want to see less of that in the country. It's not a race thing. It's not a religious thing.
No, it's all about what's best for our people.
Absolutely.
So we support, as our members knows and supporters, we support a moratorium on immigration. We think it's out of control. It's harming most Canadians, economically, environmentally, socially.
Absolutely.
So that's a no end specific date, but this mess has to be looked at. We got to come up with real sharp solutions. But the bottom line after that, we support 50,000 or less. We've just proven through our research that Canada is growing naturally on its own. There's a declining population myth. We're actually growing naturally 294 new Canadians every day.
Wow, that's really good.
294 a day.
Wow.
So we want to rein this in, but what we're against, we're not against, it has nothing to do with religion, color of skin, or anything like that. What we're against is radical extremists.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we will do everything in our power to keep these criminal thugs out of our country.
Absolutely.
And I give you an example, like the Edmonton terrorist that came up from the U.S. under Harper regime. He drove a truck and ended up knifing a cop. We want to keep these criminal thugs out of our country.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not an extreme belief at all. Yeah, it's crazy.
And some of these people happen to be Islamic, so be it. But they could be any other religion, right? So it doesn't matter. It's not religious based, right?
Absolutely.
So
it's a hell of a world that those people down there at your rally want to create, where you're over here saying we don't want extremism of any variety, whatever the flavor of extremism, we don't want it. And then they call you an extremist for saying.
Exactly. I'll give you another example. There's groups in Mississauga, Ontario, for example. They openly support Sharia.
Yeah.
So we're questioning, why are they in our country? We don't want them in our country.
Absolutely.
Sharia has no place in Canada, so these type of people we would not let in our country. We would do everything in our power so they don't operate in our country. That's it. And what does that ideology have to do with who we are as a country?
No, absolutely.
They shouldn't be here,
yes.
right? So this is a good example of the insanity of the immigration we have.
Guys, cut it off. You're gonna have to go somewhere else.
Why?
That's it.
Okay, let's just cut it off there.
All right.
So after a few minutes of interviewing Mr. Garvey, a particularly arrogant waiter decided to kick us out of the restaurant, which was actually pretty funny. That being said, I'm not only going to tell one side of the story here. This was Mr. Stephen Garvey. This is everything he has to say about the National Citizens Alliance. You can check their page out. I'm going to leave a link to it, and you can tell me what you think of them. That being said, I also have this wonderful interview that is just so classy with this member of Halifax Antifa. Check it out.
Hey, you think I could interview today? Why do you want me to interview? This is a gathering of all individual people.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm all for individual people, man. Nice to meet you. So who are these guys, man? What's their...
The NCA? It's the National Citizens Alliance. They are a known white nationalist group.
Okay.
They advocate for the removal of refugees, and they also support Islamophobia. They don't like Muslims in Canada. They don't like... Sorry, I'm not used to being interviewed. This is...
Oh no, don't worry about it. Just be yourself, man. Just don't worry about it.
Well, they generally survive off of hate, fear, and propaganda.
Okay.
And this large community here don't like the idea of dividing people by skin color, by ethnicity, by race.
I don't either. Yeah, that's failed every time in history.
What about you?
Me? Well, as far as that, as far as the immigration policy goes, I do think there are some changes that need to be made to the immigration system.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that should be addressed as racism. I'm just
Do you
here.
think this protest is a counterproductive to the what they want?
Yeah.
No, I know, but they're
Right.
trying to recruit people to continue dividing other groups. I don't think what they're doing is less productive than anything else. They should just stand aside, allow people to integrate properly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's happened. I mean, you see a lot of different people here. I just wonder because, on their website, I did a bit of looking into them. It does say that, their immigration policy doesn't want to be based on race or religion or anything like that. But it's not. On the website,
So
they don't
you
say
do
that.
know about them, but you
I
asked me
do
as
know,
if you didn't know about
I
them.
do know about them, but I don't know about all of them because people know different things. So I'm asking both sides of the situation.
I understand, but it
That
sounds
sometimes
like you
people
do have
I have
opinions.
some knowledge. I've seen some different things. I mean, it's really just on their website. That's what their
You
policy
can ask
says.
plenty of other people here. They know more than just I.
Okay.
So, thanks
All
for
right.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
There you have it, straight from Antifa as well as NCA. This is the Canadian Patriot Report. You got it right here. So just to put a little background into both of these statements on their website, and this was before the rally as well. You can put it in Internet Wayback Machine to fact check it. It says on their website in regards to their immigration policy. In addition, the NCA believes that Canada's immigration policy must be guided by fairness and equality. Immigrants and refugees must be judged based on who they are, including what they believe and value, and not the color of their skin, ethnicity, religion, or homeland, within the limits of maintaining Canadian cultural identity and ensuring the well-being and safety of Canadians comes first. This does not sound at all like white nationalism. I'm also going to be linking the NCA policies as well as the original statement that was published for the counter demonstration, which was previously displayed on a post on this website, basically keeping all of you up to date on what's going on in Canada and keeping the Canadian Patriot Report going. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody that is watching this. Thank you so much. You guys are helping make Canada great. Your support means everything. I'd like to say a big thank you to the NCA for allowing me to interview them. And it's a big thank you to all you people that do not support the globalist tyranny that is Justin Trudeau and what is the current Canadian federal government, because this country needs changes and people like you are making those changes possible. All these patriots that listen to this podcast, all of you, I'm talking to you. You are awesome. Thank you so much for watching this. We are going to make Canada great again.